Right, good evening, everybody. As you all probably know, that we're going to do Transformers tonight, and the explanation of what a transformer does is basically in the name. It transforms one thing to another, so it can transform voltage from one voltage to another, and it can transform current from one current to another, and impedance from one impedance to the other. Now, a basic transformer has got a primary winding and a secondary winding, and the ratio between those two windings will determine whether it is a step up or a step down transformer. Now, transformer works on the principle of a magnetic field that's created and then collapses and is created again. So, in other words, in order to get that, a transformer can only work with AC and not with DC. They call this effect mutual inductance. And a person must not confuse that with self inductance of the can't remember what that thing's called. Can you believe it? Inductor. So transformer's got two wounds, and that's the different transformers. They come in many shapes and sizes, and just you switching the light on has it gone through at least 3 or 4 transformers, if not a lot more. So how the transformer basically works is that you have a primary wound on the one side, and you apply a alternating current or alternating voltage to that side, and you generate the magnetic field. And because it's alternating current, the magnetic field is switching from the one side to the other, and that induces a current in the secondary winding, and the ratio between these two will determine whether it's a step up or a step down transformer. Now, this illustration is very complicated, but I only used it for to just show you the two separate winds with a core in the middle. Now, the symbol they've got in the book is not 100% correct. There should be a line in the middle here that represents the core. It can be an iron core. There's a variety of metal. Could be an air core, but the transformer has got also always a core of some sort that carries the magnetic field from the one side to the other. Now, as I explained, it's a ratio between the primary side and the secondary side. The turns ratio of a transformer specifies the relative number of turns of the primary and the secondary windings. The number on the primary is always specified first. For example, 5 to 1. Transformer has 5 times as many turns on the primary side as on the secondary side. 1, 2, 3 would be 1 turn on the primary side for every 3 turns on the secondary side. But this doesn't mean that the transformer necessarily has only 5 wounds on the one side, on the primary side, and 1 wound on the secondary side. It can be thousands, but the ratio between the primary and the secondary is 5 to 1. So for every 1 that is on primary, for every 5 that's on the primary side, there's 1 on the secondary side. And that would typically be a step down transformer. And here they say, note that the turn ratio does not specify the actual number of turns, just the ratio of turns on the primary with respect to the number of turns on the secondary. For example, a transformer with 200 turns on the primary side and 20 turns on the secondary side would be described as a 10-to-1 transformer. So if you take 200 and you divide it by 20, then you'll get 10-to-1. So that's how we determine the ratio. And as they say, a transformer that you plug into mains would have thousands of turns. The turns ratio is often shown in numbers on the schematic symbol of, for example, let's see the example. So you know that this transformer would be 10-to-1. So for every 10 wounds on the primary side, you'll have one on the secondary side, and that will make it a step-down transformer. Then they tell us that the voltage is a ratio. The voltages across different windings of a transformer follow a very simple rule, and that is known as the transformer principle. And then they've got the definition here for us. The ratio of the voltage on the primary winding to the voltage on the secondary winding is the same as the ratio of the number of turns on the primary winding to the number of turns on the secondary winding, the turns ratio. So what they basically say is that there's a direct relation between the ratio and the amount of turns on the primary side and the secondary side. And then they've got a nice formula for us here. The relationship can be written as a mathematically as follows. So VP would be voltage primary, voltage secondary. So it's voltage primary over voltage secondary equals number of turns. That N is it's not the number of turns, it's the actual ratio. So there it would be a primary side and the secondary side. And in this case, where is that? In this case, it would be 10 on the primary side and 1 on the secondary side. But here they have one that's wound 20-to-1, and they say the primary side is 20, so it's 240, and the secondary side, for every 20 on this side, there is 1 on this side. So we can then calculate the voltage of the secondary side, because we know we have 240 volt on the primary side, and it's a 20-to-1 transformer, and we'll use this formula, and that says voltage on the secondary side equals the voltage on the primary side times the ratio on the secondary side divided by the ratio on the primary side. So what we'll do is we'll call our calculator closer, and we'll just see if we can at least get the same answer that they have there. Now these maths are very simple. So I'm not going to do all of them. Indeed. And all these formulas, they're on your formula sheet. So you don't have to know. You must just know what they look like and where to use them. Indeed. So the secondary side of this transformer would be 12 volts. Right here they say a transformer with more turns on the secondary than on the primary side will have a higher voltage across the secondary side, and that would be called a step-up transformer. And then vice versa, a transformer with fewer turns on the secondary side would be called a step-down transformer. For example, a 1 to 5 would be a step-up transformer, because for each turn that you have on the primary side, you'll have 5 on the secondary side. The more turns, the more volts. So if you have more turns on the secondary side, you're going to have more volts on the secondary side. Exactly the opposite. If you have a 10 to 1 transformer, it will be a step down transformer. And for each turn you have on the secondary side, you will have 10 on the primary side. So it will step the voltage down. Now, the current does exactly the same. And on a transformer, there's a small loss. Now, they say over here somewhere that the transformer that they have here is 95% efficient. I think they are very, very optimistic. A very good transformer will get to that point, but they are more or less between the cheapie is about 70%, 90% is the average, I would say, and 95 is very good. So, but that's what they say over here. So they're very optimistic, and we appreciate that. Right. So the current, if you have, I'm just trying to think how I'm going to say this. If you have 100 watts on the primary side of power, and you will have 100 watts on the secondary side. If you get a lower voltage, your amperage gonna go up, because the amount of power you put in and the amount of power you get out will always be the same. So if you put, for argument's sake, 1 amp at 100 volt in, you've got 100 watts going in. So if you put 10 volts out, you will have 10 amp on the secondary side. And there's another calculation where they explain basically how you get to that. Um, so, for example, suppose the current flowing in the primary is 1 amp. The current in the secondary can be found from this formula here. So it's 1 times 20 divided by 1, which gives you 20 amp. I just want to see here, do they give us, they don't give us any other figures there. So the power drawn by the primary side is voltage of the primary side times the current of the primary side. So that would be 240 times 1 watt, and that is 240. That's wrong. That W is supposed to be amp because it's I. That's wrong. So it's 240 times 1 amp, which will give us 240 watt. And if we say 12 times 20, once again, that's the amps. That's the amp we calculated over here. So that would be 240 watt. This is a typo in the book. And then here they explain um, uh, how they got to that calculation. Um, they describe the resistance, or they describe it as resistance, but it's not actually resistance. Uh, since the power supplied to the load by the secondary is identical to the power drawn by the primary, the transformer has not dissipated any power. In practical transformers, there's usually some small power dissipation caused by resistance of the windings and eddy currents. Now, I'm sure they're going to ask eddy currents because that's something they always ask. It is eddy currents happens in the core of the transformer. Um, this could be mild steel or iron or whatever. And because this is connected, it causes current to flow in the transformer. Now, they have made a lot of different ways of constructing the core to try and insulate the plates from each other so that one will not complete a circuit. And that is typically where they use the IE core in order to insulate the plates from each other, so that they try and limit the amount of current that's flowing inside the core, because that will actually heat the core up, and that will cause obviously a loss, because I mean you're converting energy to heat. So that's the biggest culprit in a transformer is eddy currents. And yeah, they say 95%, which means that less than 5% of the power is lost in the transformer. It's a very good transformer that. Now, our mains distribution makes use of a lot of transformers, all the way from the power station, transmission lines. And because if you step voltage up, you drop the current, you can actually use thinner cable to transport a lot of power over a long distance with minimal losses because of the high voltage. And then you just put a step down transformer on the other end, and you step it down again to eventually down to 240 volt that you get out the wall. But uh, there's certain points where that same voltage is 33,000 volts, and then it comes down to 11,000 volts. That goes into these green boxes. The mini substation is 11,000, and then that is stepped down to I apologize for that. That's my phone that's going bonkers. Okay, sorry about that. Let me put it far, far away. So yeah, so we get our electricity goes through plenty of transformers before we actually use it, and then obviously we as radio amateurs as once again have transformers to step the 240 volt down to usable 12, 14 volts so that we can power our radios from it. Now, because it is an inductive device, it also has impedance, and that same ratio applies to the impedance of the transformer. And here's the formula to calculate. Now, So since we know the voltage across the load resistance, the current flowing through it, through the load, we can calculate the resistance. So it would be RL would be the load, voltage secondary divided by the current on the secondary. So it's 12 divided by 20. That's the same math we did just now. And that will give us 0.6 ohms on the secondary winding. And we can also calculate the resistance that the primary winding appears to have. Yeah, it's apparent resistance because it changes when the more current you draw on the secondary side, it changes. So they call it apparent resistance. And we've got 240 volt divided by 1, and that will give us 240 ohms on the primary side. Note that this resistance is not actual resistance of the primary winding, which would typically have resistance of less than 1 ohm. It's rather an apparent resistance caused by the fact that the power is being drawn from the primary winding. In this case, though, the power is ending up in the secondary circuit and is not being dissipated by the transformer itself, but rather by the load. And then there's another way to look at it, and they've got a massive formula here. And this whole exercise here is just to arrive at this formula here, which is in the formula sheet. So we don't really care how they get to this. We just care that this works. So here we can calculate the apparent resistance of the primary winding. Impedance is a general concept that combines resistance and reactance, which can which is converted in more detail in another module. That's right. These equations tell us that the resistance in the primary circuit and the resistance in the secondary circuit are related by the square of the turns ratio. There is turns ratio squared times the load will give us the apparent resistance. Right, for example, suppose you have an audio amplifier designed to drive a 200 ohm load, but you want to connect it to an 8 ohm speaker instead. You would use a transformer to convert the impedances. Now, this is very common practice when it comes to valve amps. All valve amps has got a audio transformer that transforms the impedance to the 8 ohm load that is needed. You need a 200 by 8 or a 25 by 1 impedance transformer for the primary to the secondary, where they say the primary is the amplifier side and the secondary is the speaker side. A 5-to-1 transformer would provide this transformation. Note that the turns ratio being 5-to-1 is the square root of the impedance ratio, which is 25-to-1. So yeah, this is that's square root formula where we squared that. Now if you calculate it the other way around, you use the square root. Now applications for transformers, I've explained that. We use it for power supplies, power distribution, Impedance matching, we put it onto our antennas. Uh, if you have a 200 ohm antenna and you want to match it to 50 ohms, you'll use a transformer, which some guys make themselves. Very easy. It's just a couple of wounds through with what core? Not the iron core, because iron is too slow. Um, I'll get to the name anyway. Um, but you will typically use a transformer to match your antenna to your radio. Okay, right. And then summary: an AC voltage, alternating current voltage, is applied to the primary windings of a transformer, and that generates a fluctuating magnetic field that induces a voltage in the secondary winding. This phenomenon is known as mutual inductance. Now, you can have more than one secondary winding and you can have more than one primary winding. You in an audio amplifier, you will typically have a double wound, which is 210 volt wounds. For the US, what they'll then do is they'll put the 210 volt wounds in parallel, and the secondary side stays the same for the amplifier. Or when you bring that amp to South Africa, you'll put the two wounds in series so that it can handle 220 volts. In some cases, they actually have a couple of extra wounds so that it can handle 240 volt as well. So if you ever looked on the back of an amplifier or some electronic device, some of them have like a rotary switch that you can turn and change the voltages. So what that switch does is it either puts the uh, wounds in series or in parallel so that you use the right voltage that you get out of your mains. If you do it wrong, the smoke will escape. So if you put the 110 volt wind on a 220 volt, the transformer, the primary wind is going to get very hot, very unhappy, and it's going to destroy itself. The ratio of voltage on the primary winding to the voltage on the secondary winding is the same as the ratio of the number of turns on the primary winding to the number of turns on the secondary winding. And that is the turns ratio. It's I think it's very easy to understand. And then they've got that formula there, and then your N is your turns ratio. Secondary, primary, but when they write the ratio, the primary is always first. So for some reason, you put it the wrong way around into the formula. So the secondary one is first and the primary is second. But when it's written, then the primary one is first. A transformer with more turns on the secondary than on the primary will be a step-up transformer, which will increase the applied voltage. One with fewer turns on the secondary than the primary would be a step-down transformer, which will decreases the applied voltage. And our transformers that we use for power supplies to power our radios would typically be a step-down transformer. The ratio of the current in the secondary to the current in the primary is the inverse of the turns ratio. The overall effect is that the power in the primary circuit is equal to the power in the secondary circuit. So in a perfect transformer, does not dissipate power. Practical transformers, about 5%. But for all practical reasons, a person will do the calculation as if you have a perfect transformer, and you'll maybe put an extra two wires on to cover for that 5% loss that you might encounter. By transforming voltages and currents, transformers also transform the load resistance to an apparent resistance in the primary winding. The transformation occurs in the same direction as the voltage transformation, but according to the square of the turns ratio. So there's that formula that they constructed just now again. Right, now we get to the questions. Yeah, everybody's very quiet. I haven't looked. Do I still have people here? Looks like it. Yeah, good.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just thought maybe I'm going on my lonesome there. Right. The principal operation of a transformer is based upon
Electromagnetic induction.
electromagnetic. That's correct, because it relies on magnetism to induce electricity in the secondary winding. Transformers transfer energy from one coil to another by means of
Inductive coupling.
correct, yes. If anybody at any point don't know how we got to an answer, they must please jump up and say, "Hey, whoa, help!" Right.
I think in the book they only mention mutual induction. I don't think they I think inductive coupling is more general, but I think like mutual induction
Yeah,
falls under
mutual
that.
in
So,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, but
yeah,
it's
but I
induction.
think it's
It's
still correct. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely not a static discharge. It's definitely not capacitance, and it's those two uh, uh, turns are not electric or electrically connected, so it cannot be electrical connection. They insulated from each other, so it can only be inductive coupling. A transformer with a turns ratio 1:8 is called a
Step up.
Step up.
step up. This, yes, because this is the primary, that's the secondary. Secondary is more, so it's going to increase voltage. Transformer's nameplate shows a figure of 1 to 4. If 12-volt AC is applied to the primary winding, what voltage would be on the secondary winding?
48.
But 48.
48.
Yeah.
That is correct, yes. So, I mean, we didn't do the calculation, but the answer is correct. So, um, I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but anyway, um, if that question was in the exam, you would have gotten it very quick. Losses in a transformer is most often caused by winding resistance and
C.
Eddy currents.
yeah, eddy currents.
Yeah.
That guy. Right. What is the turns ratio of a transformer to match an audio amplifier having an output impedance of 200 ohms and a speaker having an impedance of 10 ohms?
But A, that 4,47.
Okay.
Yeah, using the impedance ratio.
How
The
did you get
square
to that
root.
answer?
So I
Squared it, yeah.
Yeah, I used the
Okay.
manipulation, so square root
Okay,
of
okay. So you did do the calculation beforehand.
yeah.
Okay. No, I was just very, very concerned because it took me a while to figure it out. And, you know, like you say, you have to manipulate the equation. And I just want to pull that up. This is question number 6. Is that visible?
Yeah.
Okay. So what? Just for those that don't know how to do this. So in order to get this R1 out, you have to divide, then you get that. And then to get the square away there, because you want this alone. So to get the square, you've got a square root on this side. So then you've got that on its own, which then you flip the thing around. You put your numbers in, you do the math, and when you square 20, you will get to the answer there, which is A. Um, this will be in the video, so whoever doesn't understand how to get to the answer, you can use this. And if you still don't come right, you're absolutely welcome to ask me to help. I will do this with you till you cry. Right, back to the book. Oh, wrong button. How did I lose my book now? What did I do? Gone. There it is. Ah, right. The operating principle of a transformer may be described as
That's going to be a varying
a
magnetic
varying
field.
magnetic field. That's
Instantly.
correct, yes. An impedance matching transformer has a turns ratio of 10 to 1. If a 500 ohm microphone is connected to the winding with lesser turns, it would correctly operate into a load of
50 kilo ohms.
50 kilo ohms. That is correct.
Oh. I got 5 ohms. Wait, it's a step down transformer.
Okay, let's just, I've got somebody that helps me when I'm not sure,
Let me plug in quickly.
and we'll just ask. I should have actually done that. I don't know how I missed it.
Load, I know, load over primary. It's 500. Yeah, I get 5 ohms.
Okay, we will just wait till this thing does its job, and then we'll see how it gets to 50, and there's the formula. I wonder, can I zoom into this? Right, so 50 kilo ohms, that is the correct answer. And so that is secondary turns is 500, and that's the ratio.
Oh, I messed it up. I saw 500 I didn't see it was connected to the lesser turn side.
That's it. Yeah.
No
So
worries.
that's
Okay,
a bit of a
then I get
catch.
50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is then also on the video. So once again, anybody that can't get to the right answer on their calculator, please give me a call. We make a plan. We do it till you get it right. Now I must find my book again. And you know what? I use Gemini. I think it's what it's called. Um, it's very good. We had with the previous course we had what would say difference of opinion because the one guy was using Grok and I was using the Gemini, and eventually we played with the answers. We gave the one answer to the other AI, and eventually Grok came out and said, "Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. He overlooked something." Yeah. So I
I
don't
think
use. Yeah.
I
Go
think
ahead.
what messed me up was the turns ratio was given 10-1, but then
That's
they're
right.
putting the input onto the secondary side.
Side. That's
So
right.
it's
Yeah.
effectively 1-10, and I think that that
Yeah,
wording then
that's it.
afterwards messed me up.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Right, and then now with this one, it's important to first get the ratio. So you will divide 1200 by 30, which will give you a 42:1, and then you will put it into that formula that is on the formula sheet, which is voltage on the secondary equals voltage primary times the ratio, which is um, secondary over primary, and that would be 240 times 1 over 40, which will give you 6. Everybody agree with me?
I
Yeah.
agree, but I still use that 1,200 and the over 30, and I still got the same answer.
Okay, I'll
So
guess it's a ratio, so it
yeah,
should
so it'll be
work.
the same, even if you
Yeah, so we take 240 0, and we take what did I do wrong?
I think you'd need to divide by 240. No?
30 divided by 1,200.
Yeah, but okay.
30
So the
over 1, 2.
Okay.
or you can use the inverse if you use like primary over secondary.
Okay. No, but I think it's better just to, yeah. Right, so we got to 6 volts there. That's good. And then we've got, let me just get this thing out of the way. A 5-to-1 transformer has a current of 1 amp flowing in the primary winding, and the current flowing out the secondary winding would be
5 amps.
Yeah,
5
5
amps. That is correct. And that brings us to the end of transformers. Any questions? Any disagreements? Yeah, I think the important thing is just to go through the math with your calculator so that you know how to do it with, some, like I've shown before, some calculators are not, you got to have a certain sequence you put things in, otherwise it gives you the wrong answer. I'm going to stop the recording if there's no questions.